Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. In our last session, it was discussed in great details. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. So, these particular instructions from Shruti Mata can, of course, confuse many people, because from as far as we remember from our childhood until now, we have seen commonly worship of the idols, visiting the temples of various gods and goddesses and so on. And then suddenly this instruction comes. But again, one has to understand this instruction is for whom? To listen to Vedanta, one has to have this sadhan chatushtai sampannadhikari. So this instruction is not for any common person. This is for the one who has qualified himself for this knowledge, for the knowledge of the Upanishads, the path of knowledge. So for such a one, this instruction is the Nedam Yadidam Upasate, Tadeva Brahmatam Vidhi. And otherwise, if somebody is not prepared to have this kind of knowledge, two, three things may happen. Either he'll not understand anything. If he doesn't understand anything, good. There is no harm there. But if he misunderstand things, that is bad. So if he doesn't understand anything, that is fine. It doesn't harm him. But if you misunderstand, then it can harm. So Tadeva Brahmatam Vidhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. In fact, of course, the absolute truth is only one, non-dual reality, infinite. But then our ancient rishis, they very well understood the limitations of an individual's physical abilities, mental capacities, and intellectual capabilities. And of course, it will not be possible for everyone to comprehend one thing or practice one thing because of different abilities. So therefore, our rishis understood this very well, and different paths were given for different temperaments, seekers of different temperaments. And that is how, for those who cannot comprehend the infinite without the conditionings, for them it was made easier. The infinite was brought down to the finite level. And if just one form, why not millions of forms? The infinite can be conceived in one form or multiples of forms. So therefore, it doesn't matter. Because its capability is that we bring down to the finite level only for our convenience of worship. Since we cannot comprehend the infinite, so infinite with the conditionings. Sopadik Satya, Sopadik Atma. So with some form, attributes, and name, it becomes easier for understanding and worship. Worshipping a formless, attributeless is impossible for the one who is thoroughly identified with his own body, mind, intellect, equipment. So therefore, it was just for the convenience sake. And if in Sanatan Dharma we have got multitudes of deities, names and forms, different forms also. So infinite can take any form. If one form, why not many forms? Whichever form is easy for a seeker to remember, let that form be there, convenient for him. There was a seeker who approached a master, and then the master told him to contemplate, to meditate. So then the seeker told the master, whenever I close my eyes and as per your instruction, when I'm trying to meditate or anything, the picture of my favorite animal, his favorite bull, that only comes to his mind. So then the guru told him, that's very good. If that is the only thing, that is the only image that comes to your mind. The guru didn't reprimand him that, no, no, no. You should contemplate on what I am saying and not focus on your favorite bull. So what the guru told him is that if exclusive of everything, that is the only thing that comes to your mind, and focus on your favorite pet animal, that bull. That's it. At least by that, your mind will become single-pointed. If that is what makes your mind single-pointed, that is what comes as soon as you close your eyes, that is the image of that bull comes, your pet bull comes there. That's good. No problem with that. So for that seeker, that was the sadhana. Now, only when your mind starts wandering beyond that bull, your pet bull, then the further instructions will be given. As long as it is focused on that, your mind is single-pointed. When it starts transcending or wandering away from that, that is the time the next instruction will be given to you. So, it doesn't matter. It all depends upon the seeker, what levels of evolution he has attained. And according to that, only the instructions are given. So here we have seen that which empowers the power of speech, without which there cannot be power of speech. Understand that to be that absolute truth, the pure self of Brahman, and not what is being worshipped. Again here, the important factor is that a sadhaka on the path of knowledge, Jnana Yoga, he is being given the instruction. Then of course, yen manasana manute, yena ahuhu mane, manaha matam, tadeva brahmatam. So that which the mind cannot feel, but without which the mind doesn't have ability to feel, understand that to be the pure self, Brahman, the absolute truth, and what is being worshipped, not what is being worshipped, so to say, commonly being worshipped, that is seen everywhere. Similarly, then, now that was the speech, the organ of action, then the mind, then of course the sense organs like Chakshu and Shotriya, that without which the eyes cannot perceive, that which gives the ability for the eyes to perceive, understand that to be Brahma. That which gives the ability for the ears to hear, understand that to be Brahma. So here, in this particular first chapter, the Rishi is making it clear that it is beyond, and the pranas also. So the sense organs, the mind intellect equipment, the instruments of action, the speech is the instrument of action. So as well as the pranas. So all these things, so of course the sense organs part of the gross physical body. So the gross body and the subtle body, they are incapable of knowing. The gross body, the sense organs, that is the pranas, the prana functions in a body. Prana itself cannot know the self. The power by which the pranas function in a body, understand that to be Brahma. So this pranamaya kosha, annamaya kosha, then manomaya kosha and vidyanamaya kosha. All these equipments are incapable of knowing the self. But all these equipments can function only because of the self. So understand that, due to which all these equipments are able to function. The conditionings of the body, sense organs, pranas, mind and intellect equipment, the upadhis, they function. So there has to have an entity, a power other than what we see. We perceive our own body. We are aware of our sense organs, our organs of action, our pranas, the mind and the intellect, the contents of the mind, the contents of the intellect. So there has to be an entity other than that, because of which this appears to function. And in our last session, we have seen several examples also about the electricity and electrical gadget. Iron, its natural state is just cold, but it can acquire heat and look different. A black iron rod can look red hot and then white hot also. So the color changes the color, and of course the temperature also changes, but it is an acquired one. It is not inherent of that iron rod. So this has come from something, an entity, external entity called the fire. Because of that fire, this rod has acquired that color and the heat, all that. So there has to be an entity other than what it is. So the electrical gadgets, they cannot function without the electricity. So just a piece of wire cannot give anybody a shock unless it is connected with a live circuit. So electricity is that which gives that power. So in the first chapter, the Rishi explained, understand that to be the absolute truth, Brahman, and not what is being worshipped. So what is being worshipped is according to the understanding of the worshipper. So the worshipper also, we have seen that one should not have some wrong notions about this. So should everybody give up the idol worship? No. That is not what Shruti Mata wants. So this idol worship also serves a purpose. For those who are evolving on the spiritual path, for them it serves a purpose. It helps them to make their mind single-pointed. It helps them to increase the concentration level. It also increases their Shraddha and Prema, along with which the Bhakti also increases. So it serves a purpose. But then this Bhakta, slowly he has to shift his focus from the form, the color and the form of his favorite deity that he is seeing, to the gunas, the attributes of his favorite deity. So focusing on the attributes, the gunas. And then beyond the attributes, so from the akara to guna, and then beyond the guna to its tattva. So whatever the deity he may be worshipping, so from Krishna Rupa to the guna, the attributes of that deity, Lord Krishna, and then from there to his Swarupa, Krishna Tattva, Rama Tattva, Shiva Tattva, and so on. That is the real Swarupa. So from Rupa to Swarupa, from Nama Rupa and Guna to Swarupa, slow shifting of the focus. As the Bhakta matures in his bhakti, as he rises slowly above that, then he will be guided by his own favorite deity onto the path, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, then Tukaram Maharaj, Namdev Maharaj. We have so many of them. All they started their spiritual journey as a bhakta. And then they also became a jnani. So they were jnani bhaktas. So this is what we need to understand when Shruti Mata says that Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Yaditam Upasate. And let us not have any confusion regarding it. Having said that, now we move on to the next chapter, chapter 2. We will take the first mantra. Yadi manyase suvedeti daharam eva api nunam tvam vetta brahmanaha rupam yadasya tvam yadasya deveshu atha nu mimamsyam eva te manye viditam. So, yadi manyase suveda iti daharam eva api nunam tvam vetha brahmanah rupam yad asya tvam yad asya deveshu atha nu mimamsyam eva te manye viditam. Now here, actually, the Rishi of this Upanishad is actually cautioning the seeker, the sadhaka, that yadi manyase suveda iti, if you think that you have understood it well, you have known it well, then it is certainly very little that you have. Daharam eva api nunam, very little that you have known. If you think you have known, okay, I have understood now what it is. So, Guru cautions him, the Rishi of this Upanishad cautions him, but little, about the form of Brahma. Tvam vetta brahmanaha rupam. You see? So here, now somebody reaches somewhere, now somebody can't afford to visit, say, Disneyland. But he can pass by Disneyland. He cannot enter, he doesn't have money to buy the ticket and then go and explore Disneyland. So if he reaches Disneyland, and then he can't say that, now I have understood what Disneyland is all about. He just reached the gates of the Disneyland and he doesn't know what is inside. So this is the opening that is given to the seeker by the Rishi, by his Guru. So if you think that you have understood, then very little is you have understood, you have known. So he is cautioning the seeker, that Brahman. And then yad asya tvam yad asya deveshu atha. So now in the devas also, these things are there. The deities, different deities are there. Okay. So it is the form of the devas also. not only in all names and forms that absolute truth manifests, the deities also, it is the same absolute pure consciousness that is manifesting through all the devas as well. All the forms, including all the devas, the deities. So now he says that Deveshu Atha Nu Mimamsyam Eva Te Manye Viditam. So now it has to be ascertained. What you have understood, that has to be ascertained. It is not clear. So now, Sopadik Atma, that is what was explained by the Shruti Mata, as well as explained by the Guru, the Rishi, the pure self. One should gain the awareness of that pure self, oneself. So without the upadis, understanding, knowing the self without the upadis. With the upadi, it was explained, okay, the eyes can perceive. That power which enables the eyes to perceive is that absolute truth. So if we are seeing with our eyes, that means that absolute truth is pervading through that eyes, the instrument called the eyes. So it is very much here and now, and it is powering the eyes. So I have to know it without the conditioning of the eyes. So like last time we had seen, understanding electricity through electrical gadgets, for a lay person who doesn't know anything about electricity, then he's told that you see this bulb is glowing. Now he switches off, and then this bulb is just as it is, just an instrument like that, glass thing, nothing is there. Then he switches on, and then he sees that it is glowing. There is a filament inside and all those things. So then he's told that that which is actually making this bulb glow, that is called as electricity. So you have to understand electricity without the help of that bulb, without the electrical gadget. Understand that electricity which powers the bulb. So now here, the instruments that are at our disposal, the upadis, the gross physical body, the sense organs, the organs of action, the pranas, mind, and the intellect. These are the instruments. So understanding that absolute truth which is manifesting and expressing or powering these instruments to function in this world. So understanding that, or comprehending it, realizing that rather, without the upadis. So because it is not possible, very difficult to comprehend it. Now, what are the obstacles that could be that is preventing us from realizing the self? And how we can get rid of those obstacles? What is the quality of the mind and intellect required for contemplation to transcend the mind-intellect equipment itself? What is the quality that is required? Now, a mind which is free of vasanas, very difficult to get rid of all the vasanas. See? But to the extent that the load of vasana is reduced, to that extent the mind remains calm and single-pointed. So such mind-intellect equipment is ideal for the contemplation of the high reality. So this is the biggest obstacle that any seeker will have, because mind is very chanchala, and what makes it chanchala is the vasana. So we bring the vasana from our past experiences of the past several lives. So those vasanas remain, those impressions remain. The tendencies, the impressions of the experiences we may have had, good and bad, both experiences, they are all vasanas only. The bad experiences also, we have impressions about that, and we tend to avoid it we dislike it, we hate it, we tend to avoid it, and we pray that it doesn't come in our life. And then the enjoyment, pleasure that we have had, the experiences, pleasurable experiences, joyful experiences, happy experiences, that also leaves an impression. That also have the tendencies. So the bad experiences, the tendencies developed are to avoid that. And the good experiences, we want to have that, we are attached to it. So these impressions, then from there comes the desire, and the desire will put us into action to acquire it. And then in actions, of course, there will be obstacles. Sometimes the actions are fulfilled easily, sometimes not. Sometimes there will be obstacles. And then anger will come and other actions will be there. So this will go on. So the root cause is the vasanas. If vasanas are not there, then the desires will not arise. If these tendencies and impressions that we gathered in our past lives, some are very strong tendencies and impressions, strong vasanas, medium vasanas, and light vasanas, mild vasanas. So these are the different types. And the mild vasanas, you don't have to experience an exhaustion. But some vasanas are so strong that it doesn't get exhausted unless we experience it. And then only it will get exhausted. And if the result of our experience is not too good, of course, then you don't want it. So all these vasanas, some they manifest in a waking plane of consciousness from time to time. They manifest from the subconscious state. All the vasanas lie in our subconscious state, and from time to time they come to the conscious level. And when it comes to the conscious level, then we have a desire born out of those vasanas. And then it puts us into action. So now, if we have understood that these vasanas, they lie in the subconscious state, there has to be some sadhana, some technique, some practice to reduce this vasana to a great extent, if not completely eradicate all the vasanas from that, but at least to a great extent, we can reduce it if there is a technique for that. And then to that extent, our mind will be more calm and peaceful. And then it will be readily available for the higher contemplation, reflection, contemplation, and meditation. So in different path, like Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Kriya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, different techniques have been given. We have discussed this earlier also at different times. It is good to revise. In Bhakti Yoga, Japa Sadhana is very good to reduce vasanas also. So when we are doing Japa from Bhakti Yoga, Japa will help us reduce at least some of our vasanas. So this is in Bhakti Yoga, this technique is given to reduce our vasanas. Then in Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, selfless service, where I do not expect anything, I do not want anything, I am performing karma for its own sake, not having any expectations. And then, of course, in Nishkam Karma Yoga, we may be doing selfless service, no doubt. But there is again, one problem is there. Ego will be very strong. And then if we are doing some good work, there will be ego. I am doing a good work. I am helping these people so that they can develop, they can progress. So that ego will be there. And to do Kartutva Abhiman Rahit Nishkam Karma Yoga is very difficult. Unless somebody is involved in Karma Yoga so much, every day, many karmas he is doing, and he is not even aware of his actions are helping or who they are helping and all those things. They may not remember. But once in a blue moon, once in 10 years or 20 years, we may do some good karma and help somebody. And then we'll remember that all the time. 20 years ago, I helped that person when he was in dire straits. If I had not helped, he would have been in trouble. And now he's in a good position. So once in a while we do something and then we'll remember that. So if an ego is attached to even so-called selfless karma, then of course we'll be eligible for the fruits of that karma. So then what is the solution? Kartutva abhiman rahit nishkama karma sounds to be very difficult. So then the other easiest solution for that is what? Okay, it is not easy. Unless somebody has dissolved his ego, then there is no question at all. But if not, which is not possible to dissolve the ego so easy. So if the ego is very much there, I may have the ego of doing that good karma. Though it is selfless karma I am doing, but I may have the ego that I am doing good karma, I am helping people and so on. So if we have to get rid of that, then the other easier option is that whatever karmas we are doing, surrender it at the feet of our favorite deity. Either our favorite deity, our Sadguru, or Guru, whatever it may be, wherever we have surrendered completely. Maybe even a piece of stone also, it doesn't matter. As long as our surrender is complete to that entity, we surrender all the karmas. So, what they say, Tera Tujhko Arpan. You are the Karta, you are the Bhokta, you are the Karma Phala Dhata, and you are the Bhokta also. And I'm just an instrument through which you are performing. So when with that attitude also, when we do karma, then it will of course help. Because doing Kartutva Abhiman Rahit Nishkam Karma is not so easy. It is very, very difficult. So the next option is that surrender whatever karma we do, surrender at his feet. So have this notion that I am privileged that he chose me to do this karma. It is all his. He is doing it. He is the karta. He is the karma phala data, and he is himself the bhokta. I have nothing in that. With that attitude, if you do, at least that will also help to reduce our vasanas. So karma yoga is that in karma yoga. Bhakti yoga for japa is there. When karma yoga, nishkam karma yoga. See, doing any karma doesn't make karma yoga. Everybody does karma. Karma becomes karma yoga only when we do nishkam karma. Then it becomes karma yoga. And then when we surrender the fruits, we surrender everything at the feet of the Lord, our favorite deity, or our guru, whoever it may be. Then it becomes a spiritual practice. Otherwise, people do karma and they do karma yoga also with the expectation of going to Swarga or some other loka and things like that. So that will not help. Everybody does karma. Everybody will do karma yoga also. But if it has to help us on the spiritual path, then that karma yoga has to be Nishkam karma yoga, either Kartutva Abhiman Rahit, which is next to impossible, very difficult, and then surrender it. So that will also help to reduce the vasana to a great extent. That is given in the karma yoga. Then in the hatha yoga, the practice of Manduki Mudra. Manduki Mudra is also very good practice to reduce the vasanas. In Hatha yoga it is given. Manduki Mudra as well as Supta Vajrasana also can help reduce vasanas to some extent. So that is about Hatha Yoga. In Kriya Yoga, Chidakash Dharana is given. Chidakash Dharana also can reduce the vasana to a great extent. Chidakash Dharana. And some of you must have practiced Chidakash Dharana. We have done this session also once. So that will also help us get rid of many vasanas. To that extent, the mind will be calm. So that is about Kriya Yoga. Then in Jnana Yoga, it is the Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha Bhavana is finding out faults in the object of our desire. So when we fully focus on the negative aspect of the object of our desire, then slowly the desire for that object will start disappearing. So that will help us get rid of some of the vasanas. So to that extent, the mind will be calm and peaceful. So focusing on the negative aspect. So when we practice this Pratipaksha Bhavana, now Pratipaksha Bhavana, for Pratipaksha Bhavana again, Viveka is required. With Viveka, we practice Pratipaksha Bhavana, and slowly the desire goes away. And with that practice of Pratipaksha Bhavana, with Viveka Buddhi, then Vairagya will come. So that will also help us in getting rid of the vasanas. To that extent, the mind will be calm, peaceful, and that will help us in the higher contemplation. So this absolute truth cannot be known, as we have seen earlier also, through the sense organs, through the mind, through the organs of action, mind, intellect, equipment, and pranas, and so on. Like fire cannot burn itself, but anything put in the fire, it will burn off. Water cannot wet itself. Anything put in the water will get wet. So nothing can know the self as such. It is to be realized. There is no knower of the self. As regards the self is concerned, the knower is also in the triputi of knower known knowledge. Where the triputi disappears, there the self is. In understanding, when it was said earlier, it is other than the known and above the unknown. So then it was ascertained that, okay, other than the known and above the unknown is the knower. Now, knower, known, and knowing. This is the triputi. Jnata, Jneya, and Jnana. So the knowledge, the knower, and the object of knowledge. So these three things, they are triputis. Experiencer, the object of experience, and the experience itself. So, these where the triputi ends, in the absolute, this triputi is not there. Knower, known, and knowledge, that is not there. Where the triputi ends, where only pure awareness remains. Because when the ego dissolves, there is nobody to claim as knower. So, this needs to be understood. Even the guru also can't say that he knows. Because who is saying, I know? Ego is saying that. So therefore, when the absolute truth is concerned, the master also remains silent. So everybody will explain only the sopadik satya only. But one has to realize this absolute truth without the upadi. So this, when it is said, yadasya tvam, yadasya deveshu atha. So this pure consciousness in the sense organs, that is powering the self on sense organs, and that which is expressing through the devas also, this is all the same. No difference. So now the realization has to be without the upadis, and for that the preparation of mind is also important. Having said that, now we move on to the next mantra, chapter 2, verse 2. Now, after listening to the master, this is what the disciple says. Naham manye suvedeti, non vedeti vedacha, yo nastad veda, tad veda, non vedeti vedacha. Na aham manye suveda iti, non veda iti vedacha, ya nah tad veda no na veda iti vedacha. This is all confusion. So na aham manye suveda iti. I don't think so that I know it well. No na veda iti vedacha. But then it is also not that I do not know. I know also, but then what I know, I am not too sure. So, ya naha tad veda. So, one who comprehends it both as the not known and as the known, he only comprehends it. Ya na tad veda naha na vedeti vedacha. This is what happens in Upanishads. Upanishadic language is very difficult, not easy to understand. So now, understanding. I don't know, I have understood it very well. But it is not that I have not understood it at all. I know it at all. So now what is the comprehension? It is not the known because it can't be the object of knowledge. And it can't be unknown also. Now when the disciple is saying that, it is, I know very little of it. It is not that I don't know. I can't be too sure. Not that I don't know. Very little. So what it is first thing is that it is not the object of knowledge. And why he said that it can't be unknown to me also? Because it is my own essential nature. As was explained by Guru, that is pervading through the gross and subtle body, the gross body, the sense organs, organs of action, pranas, mind, intellect. So it is very much there, 100% present here. So it cannot be that it is not known because it is an essential nature, my own essential nature. It is not apart from my own existence. Being the principle of existence, this absolute truth being the principle of existence, it cannot be apart from me. It cannot be separate from me. It is not away from me. So, though I have not realized it as my essential nature, I have not realized it, but then at least I can't say that it is unknown to me in the sense that it is my essential nature, and having heard from Guru that it is pervading through me, it is expressing through all the instruments that are there. So it is very much there. So at least I know, I have heard about now, some may say that I don't know electricity, but I can't say that I don't know fully. Because I know that the electrical gadgets function because of electricity. So I can't say that I don't know. So if somebody asks me how this electrical gadget is functioning, I can immediately say it is because of electricity. But though I do not know electricity, how it is manifesting, how it is produced, how it is conducted to the cable, the wires, and all that thing, that I do not know. But at least I can say that it is electricity because of which this is functioning. So though I do not know fully about electricity, what this is, how this energy is produced, how it is transmitted, how it enters our house. Nothing I know about it. So now he says that it is, I can't say that I know it, but it is not that I do not know also, because it is my own subjective nature, essential nature. And therefore, it cannot be apart from me. At this very moment, whatever that entity may be, because of which I have the power of speech, I am talking, it is because of that power only. So that means it is very much here and now, 100%. It is not apart from me, it is not other than me, it is manifesting through me, it is expressing through me. So at least this much I know. So I can't say that I don't know anything about it. Something. So now this sadhaka's progress is in stages. Beyond the objective knowledge is the subjective self. You see, words are of course limited. And therefore, because of these limitations of the words, it is very difficult to convey something which cannot be expressed in words. We have the example of our deep sleep state. In deep sleep state, we do not know anything. And when we wake up, we make two statements which may appear contradictory. First statement we make is that I didn't know anything. And the second statement we make is that, but I enjoyed it. I didn't know anything and I enjoyed it. So if you didn't know anything, were you present there? What makes you say that you enjoyed it? You didn't know anything. And then I say that I enjoyed it. Simultaneously, I'm expressing my ignorance that I didn't know anything in my deep sleep state. And at the same time, I'm giving a positive thing that I enjoyed it simultaneously. Now, these two statements, don't they appear contradictory? I didn't know anything, and yet I enjoyed it. So, this is what is the limitations of the words when we are explaining, when we are studying Upanishads. It is not very easy to understand. So sometimes then the seeker also will talk like in the Bhagavad Gita also it has come in other scriptures also. Some people will talk about it. Some people will perceive about it in a very wonderful manner, surprised. Ashcharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. Ashcharyavat vadati kaschidenam. They have perceived it or they speak of it. And when they speak of it, they don't find to be very, what you call that, comprehensible, understandable. So this is what Upanishad is all about. But it is only in the initial stage. As we progress deeper and deeper, then the things start becoming clearer to us. In the, we take up the third mantra. Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasah avijñatam vijanatam vijñatam avijanatam. Now this again is very confusing. Yasya amatam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasah avijñatam vijñanatam vijñatam avijanatam. This is too much. He understands it. Yasya amatam tasya matam. He understands it who has not comprehended it. So one who has not comprehended it, he has understood it. He understands. Who has not comprehended it. Matam yasya na vedasah. And he doesn't understand, who has not understood, who feels that he has comprehended it. This is too much. Avijñatam vijanatam. So, it is unknown to those who have this knowledge. That is, the rishis, the great masters, the gurus who have, they are the masters of this true knowledge. It is unknown. And then, vijñanatam, avijanatam. And the one who are ignorant, it is known to them. So when we talk about all these things, but to the ignorant it is known. This is too much to digest. So the one who says that I know, he has not understood it. He has not known it. And the one who says that he doesn't know, he may have understood it. So one who says, who has understood it, he has not understood it. One who says that he has not understood it, he has understood it. So what is the correct understanding? So the correct understanding is that it cannot be understood as an object of knowledge. So all the knowledge is through the limited upadhis. The limited upadhis of the sense organs, mind and intellect. So also this sopadik atma, the absolute truth, self, not the pure truth, not the absolute truth. There's a sopadik self, the absolute truth with the conditionings, the pure truth. So the knowledge is only as with conditioning, not in its pure form. Now, Guru actually endorses, approves the seeker's experience in the previous mantra, in the mantra 2, when he says that I have understood but a little. It is not that I have not understood at all. When he says all that, now in this mantra, the Guru also approves, so to say, endorses what the sadhak said in the previous mantra. So here, what is required is that we have done this earlier also. What is required is jnana chakshu, not the charma chakshu. So with the charma chakshu, we can see the names and forms, the gross names and forms we can see. But the subtler ones and that which is beyond the gross and the subtle, then only the jnana chakshu is the only equipment. Jnana chakshu is needed, eye of wisdom. So the example that is given here is that an object which is in the darkness cannot be seen by the eyes, but when it is brought out in the sunlight, it can be illuminated. It is illuminated, it is seen. But sunlight is not illuminating the object per se. It is the essential nature of the sun. Illumination is the essential nature of the sun. Sun, there is no notion of darkness in the sun. So here, with reference to darkness, only this illumination is termed as. As regards sun is concerned, it has no notion of darkness at all. So, this prakasha is of course the swarupa of the sun. Illumination is the swarupa of the sun. And as regards the sun is concerned, there is no question of any darkness. So, can we ask the sun, are you illuminating this particular object? Because there is no notion of darkness in the sun will have no notion of illumination also. The word illumination is in contrast to the darkness. When there is no darkness, there is nothing to compare to tell that, okay, this is darkness and that is illumination. So when darkness is not there, the notion of illumination is not there. Similarly, in the non-dual reality, the I notion arises only when we see an entity other than I. So I am there and there are so many other people are there. Then there is so many other things are there, trees, mountains, rivers, lakes, ocean, buildings, vehicles, and so many things are there. So I am there and then so many other things are there. So I notion arises only when there is an entity other than I. When in the non-dual reality, nothing exists other than the self alone, then even that I notion will not be there. I notion will manifest only if there is an entity other than I. So the question of illumination for the sun will manifest only when there is something other than illumination, darkness. So darkness is not there as regards illumination is concerned. As regards the self is non-dual self is concerned, nothing exists other than itself. So as regards sun is concerned, there is no such entity as darkness. And in any case, darkness is not an entity. It is not a thing. Light is something which can be studied, scientifically studied. Light can be studied, but darkness is not a thing that can be studied scientifically. No, it is merely an absence of light. That's all. So, self has no knower other than itself. What can illumine the sun? So also, now this is a limited example. So also, self has no knower other than itself. Nothing in this world can illumine the sun. So, as long as now we have seen that in the non-dual reality, the notion of I is not there. So therefore it is said that when ego is there, God is not there. In the absence of ego, God is there. So it is the egoless mind through which the divinity manifests. So as regards the ego is concerned, then there is no God to be perceived, to be known. And when there is no ego, there is only God. You see, in Advaita, there is no I notion. There cannot be simultaneously two entities. Ego is also there and the pure self is also there simultaneously to the perception. That is not possible. For example, why it is not possible? I want to see the Lord. Now, whatever manifestations we see, sometimes in the dream and sometimes during the meditation also, we may see the form of our favorite deity. So, if there is a non-dual reality, then the perception of this should not be there. So, if the perception is there, it is again a mental projection. And the forms are different. So, therefore, Param Puja Gurudev used to say in meditation, if Lord Krishna appears, or Lord Rama appears, so then you should tell, I want to realize the Swarupa. So take away the Rupa and let me realize the Swarupa. So, like in simultaneously, it cannot be possible. So when the Swarupa will manifest, there will be no ego. Simultaneously, I cannot say that I can see the rope as well as the snake. It is not possible. Either I see the snake or I see the rope. I can see both snake and the rope. It is impossible. Or either I see the post or I see the ghost. No, I can see the post and the ghost both together there itself. It is not possible. So, when one manifests, one comes into comprehension, the other will disappear. Then there will be only pure self. So, like if darkness complains to the Lord that the sun is the one who is destroying me. Okay, the sun was called by the Lord that you are destroying. The darkness was complaining. You are destroying every moment the darkness. Sun innocently says, I don't even know who this fellow is. This darkness is, I have never met him. How can I destroy somebody who I have never met? So when one is there, the other is not there. Other cannot be. So if God is there, then ego is not there. If ego is there, then God doesn't express. So this is what the self is all about. So both this together is not possible. Ego, I want to keep intact. And then I want to realize the self also. That is not possible. One will dissolve, the other will be there. Otherwise, both together is impossible. The ego has to go. It has to dissolve. Further on this mantra, we'll take up in our next session. Now, if anybody has got any questions.
Hari Om Swamiji. Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Excellent session and very brainstorming intellect session, Swamiji. I must say, I have understood and not understood both the things.
Now, Kenopanishad has given you the dialogue. I have understood, but I have not understood. I can't say that I have understood, but I can't say that I have not understood also.
Swamiji, I have understood, but the Kenopanishad tells me that what we have understood is not the things to be understood. But really fantastic, Swamiji.
Yes, this is what it is.
Before I say anything, I request Prakash, Shobha, there are so many other participants to ask the question.
Swamiji,
Yes.
finally, I think so. There is some light on the Tamil word illa.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
No. In Tamil, there's a word illa.
Ille. Yes.
It
No.
now has a deeper meaning.
No.
Any taker? Okay, Swamiji, and speak little slowly.
Okay.
I got a bad throat. I am reminded of a saying by Bhagwan Raman Maharshi, the final authority on spirituality, according to me, for me at least. He says, whatever is seen is an illusion. If I say anything, I say, consider this as an illusion.
Yes.
And then many years back, I listened a story, not story, the fact, when I attended Ashtavakra Gita. Janak asked Ashtavakra, what is real? What is सच क्या है और सच क्या नहीं है? So Ashtavakra asks him, he said that I saw a dream. Janak was a king and like a Kuberpati and had a dream. And everybody knows about the dream, so I'm not going into the dream. तो सच क्या है? The Janak the king or Janak the beggar? So Ashtavakra replies, who has seen this both? Has Janak the beggar seen the Janak the king? He says no. Vice versa. Then who has seen both? He said, I saw it. Then he said, both are unreal. The one who has seen is the real. Meaning you are the real. And Raman Maharshi also says the same thing. Who am I? Inquiry is based on this. Now, the thing is that after 3.5 years, almost 4 years, we have come to a level whereby we have to shut all the windows of our five senses and dive deep into the pure consciousness. The experience of non-dual subjective experience, that is what I have learned this word from you, non-dual subjective experience. One can have only there and there. We cannot have anywhere outside. However sacred that place, whether it is Shirdi, whether it is Tirupati, whether it is Puttaparthi, or etc., etc. If I want to realize, or anybody wants to realize oneself, one's true self, true nature, we have to shut the windows of all our five senses and dive deep within that. Because all the five senses through which we get the knowledge from the outside world, on which the ego, our ego is built up. The cause may be ignorance of our true self. But if you see the content of ego, all the stimuli that we get from the outside is built up in this ego. And it is based on the I, as you have taught us again and again. The first thought is the I thought. unless I dissolve this I thought into the deep sea of my pure consciousness, I cannot realize my true self. Raman Maharshi also said, you taught us, not here, but elsewhere. In the Upadesh Saram, the last stanza, Raman Maharshi says that aham petakam nij vibhanakam. Now, this means that the greatest tapas lies in fall of one's ego. Now, Swamiji, this what we did today is a pointer to all these things which I mentioned just now. We feel that if the love is, the world is lost, there is nothing in the life. When I say world, it means all our attachments to the people, to the things, to the situation, everything. No, it's not like that. If we lose all our possessions in the form of people, situation, things, bank balance, and all those things, the great treasure of the pure consciousness is going to be there. When I die, I am going to leave everything so-called mine, I am going to leave. But who is going to give me the company? It is my pure consciousness, myself, which is going to come with me. As a matter of fact, I won't be there if I know it's my pure consciousness. My prayer, Swami, my prayer, I love this study circle so well. All the participants here, as well as those who are very near and near fellows who are not attending, finding this to be very difficult. My prayer is that this is a spirit, not gold mine, but spiritual mine. Come here and experience, listen, Shravan Manan, and then what is most important is this contemplation meditation, contemplation meditation, contemplation meditation. I'm quite sure, Swamiji, we can return our gratitude only by realizing ourselves. Otherwise, words, I know, Swamiji, mere words of thank you and all those things doesn't mean anything to you. Even if one person gets self-realization, I know that your heart will be full of, even Satya Sai Baba said, that all these years lakhs of people come, but I have never found a single devotee. What he meant by one who is equal to me. And in our life also, Swamiji, life also we have seen, when a boy, a young child grows up and becomes adult, and when he wears father's shoes, father feels the happiest. Similarly, you as a guru will feel if somebody comes to at a level, spiritual level, which is equal to you, Swamiji. Because at this level, all the forms, all the differences, they dissolve, and only the pure consciousness will remain Swami. Today's lecture, second chapter, first three strokes are difficult to understand. But as you said, that Lakshartha or the Gnan Chakshu, if we read it a second time, third time, fourth time of Gurudev, this text, it's not difficult. What he's what Kenopanishad talks about, Swamiji. By listening to your lecture, also recordings are available there. If you listen to again and again, we get at least some glimpse of what it tries to say, Swamiji. Hari Om, Swamiji, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Shall we conclude now?
Anybody else? Still last chance.
I just wanted to have a question.
Yes, sir.
I will have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Auntie, can you use your earphone? Or speak nearer to your device.
I'm speaking nearer to my device only.
Yeah, now.
You cannot hear, Swamiji?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay. This what is happening is I don't feel like talking at all. So, and I feel that is very unsocial.
No.
I understand it is, but then I just don't know why I feel that way, and I am very happy if I don't have to speak at all.
So actually, you see, what happens is that when you are paripurna, then you go into mauna. See, Ramakrishna Paramaham said this. When you go to fill a pot of water at the river bank, and when the water is being filled in the pot, it makes a sound. Kal, 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 kal. And as soon as it is full, there is no sound comes out of that. So, who goes into mauna? When it is paripurna. So, you are paripurna. So, you will not feel speaking at all. It will be mauna.
No, but it doesn't. it doesn't go in the word, if you don't feel like talking, and then naturally you have to come across people and you have to talk. But I feel like running yoga conversation that
But
I can do.
only limited one for the Vyavahara, as long as we are here with the form and dealing with the world, very limited. Otherwise, you have to be in silence only. As much as you are in silence, that is very good.
In
Swamiji,
fact, in so many, I was told that sing for God. I bhajan, it is said that I'm singing. God wants me to sing. I'm singing. So then I'm asking him, who is the God who is hearing, and who is the one who is singing? Oh, so that also makes me.
Go into silence.
Swamiji,
The God and the singer who is singing for the God, they both are actually one only.
Yes.
Swamiji,
Yes.
1997, I had taken Gopal Krishna Swamiji to Auntie's Chaya Auntie's place. And after finishing everything, when he was about to go back, she prostrated to Gopal Krishna Swami. And you know what did she say? She said, Swamiji, thank you very much that you came here. You have shown your form. But when will you show your Sarupa? So many years back, almost like 25 years back, she's a music teacher, and with lot of love and affection, hundreds of students, including us, our group. She has every Tuesday we had a music class at her place, and we have learned even this Besura myself. She has taught me to sing, and I sing few bhajans also. And Gopal Krishna Swami told her that if Pankaj can sing, anybody can sing.
So that the credit goes to Chayamma.
Swamiji, just half a minute and I will close, Swamiji.
Okay.
Daily morning on breakfast table, we have a study circle with Shama. Whatever that I have understood, I explained to her, and now she has formed the opinion about myself that this man understands something more than what I understand. Tomorrow morning, after listening to today, she is going to tell me what you understand. You really do not understand.
Guru talking to the disciple.
Now the disciple will tell the Guru that what you think that you know, but you do not know.
How? And the one who doesn't comprehend has understood.
Exactly. Swamiji, this is a terrific set. The last one was terrific, Swamiji. Anyway, we can call it a day, Swamiji.
Okay then. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.